Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good now. My fucking whole OBS just shuts down. Mic not working. I don't know. Somehow we stay live on Twitter. I think somehow managed to stay live. I don't fucking know. Listen, don't ask me what is going on, beautiful people. We are live, man. Finally, for the third time, third try, third time's a charm. Bad Decisions, episode 24. UFC OKC goes down tomorrow night. So we're here to break it down, man. My name is Finesse. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We are live on YouTube. We are live
We're good now.
on that shouldn't be playing. What kind of rinky-dink fucking operation are we running here? You know what I'm saying? UFC OKC go down tomorrow night. Great card, great main event. Dricus du Plessis versus Kamaru Usman. So very interesting main event and a pretty like stacked card. So back-to-back weeks. Stack cards, back-to-back weeks. We going live for the first time in who knows how long. So, yeah, man, I'm excited. Excited to get back too, man. You guys showed a ton of love last week. It was our most watched YouTube video by far. We just started, but our most watched YouTube video by far. And yeah, you guys showed love on Twitter and all that shit. So I was really excited, man. It was a Conor McGregor card. I thought it was a great stream. You guys showing love, this and that. And then we absolutely shit the bed. You know what I'm saying? So we went down for UFC 329. We went down about 6 units. So yeah, man, I'm always transparent. Days like that happen, or days like those happen, but every single time it sucks. It doesn't hurt any less. It doesn't suck any less. I know some of you guys tailed and lost money. So, as much as I hate it. We have to move on. We got to be transparent. As always on this channel, we got to move on to the next week as we do as professionals and try to make it back. You know what I'm saying? So that's our goal this week. And it's a great card to do it. So UFC has been amazing this year. Small bump in the road. Like I said, really fucking sucks. I was very hyped, very confident in the reads, and shit just didn't play out. I'm not going to recap all the fights and all of that shit. Bad reads, bad luck, all of that stuff. Just very little went my way last card, but we move on, man. We move on to this week. We flip the page, and like I said, we try to get it back. So, I don't know if there's anything else I really have for you guys. We working on some stuff in the background. Obviously, I don't know. Some of you guys may know me. Some of you guys may not. We're kind of in between. We departure from where we were at. So we're working on some stuff in the background, man. Some very very exciting stuff, and stay tuned for that. On YouTube, we're on the road to 100 subscribers. So I think we have like 75 right now. So hit that sub button, man. I'm going to try to be as consistent as possible on here, breaking down UFC, MLB, NFL's right around the corner, man. Right around the corner. So excited for that. I feel like my mic is a little bit loud, man. Let me turn that down. So yeah, man, a lot of exciting stuff in the works. So hit that sub button, hit that like button. And yeah, man, we got a lot to get through. So we have, I think, 12 fights now. We were down to 11. We got 12 fights now. So loaded card. Let's check the chat, see what you guys are talking about. My man Taylor in the chat, as always, showing love. Appreciate you, my guy. Third time's a charm. Yeah, I don't know. This rinky dink operation, man. This shit is unacceptable. My man Krusty in the chat too. Shout out to you, my guy. Man, wouldn't check Twitter chat, so I had to come here. Yeah, man. That's what I gotta do. I gotta finesse people to, I gotta do what I gotta do. My man Archie in the chat too. Gotta watch the full thing tomorrow, but wanted to pop in and say, hope you are well, my guy. Big shout out to you. I appreciate you. Appreciate all of you guys consistently showing love. Some familiar names in the chat. So big love, big shout out to you guys. And yeah, man, that's part of the reason why I'm getting this out today. I know it's Friday night. People got a lot of shit going on, but hopefully if you can't catch it live, you watch it back. Plenty of time to do so. But yeah, man, enough dilly-dallying. You know what I'm saying? Enough lollygagging. Let's get right into it, man. So as I said, UFC OKC goes down tomorrow night. Let's break down the card. So first fight of the night is Adam Alessandro versus Deone Barbosa. I didn't make any fancy graphics or anything like that for this fight, but mainly because I'm not going to have too much action. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be anything too crazy. I got to fix my setup, man. I feel like the light is all up in my fucking grill. Let me turn this shit on. Let me turn this shit on. How you feeling, Snoop? You feeling good? As long as you good, then I'm good. All right. He said he's good, so we're good. Look, now the camera's fucked up. Oh my goodness, bro. This is like a comedy show. It's not even a fucking. Come on. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Snoop is good. I'm good. We're gonna break down this motherfucking card. So, as I said, Anna Malesano versus Diony Barbosa. Let me get you guys current odds. Diony Barbosa's been kind of hovering around that minus 500, minus 550 mark pretty much all week. Comeback on Malesano plus 425, plus 450-ish. So yeah, man, it's, I wasn't familiar with Malesano until this fight got announced, so went back, watched all of her fights. I'm pretty sure I watched every single one. Maybe not the first pro one, but and it is very exciting to come out of her tape and be excited, man, and be kind of fired up, man. Like I'm watching her tape. I'm like, damn, I was enjoying myself, very thoroughly entertained. That Blanca Medina fight, which was 3 fights ago. And this is where y'all got to be careful, man. ESPN is ESPN, whatever the case is, and I'm looking at it now, but I shouldn't be. I should be on Tapology. ESPN be making a lot of mistakes, man, with UFC shit. That Blanca Medina fight, it says around 3 KO. It was actually around 1 KO. Anna hit her with a beautiful, beautiful fucking head kick, and then finished her off, and Medina was sleeping, you know what I'm saying? So very impressive win there. The Lydia Warren fight is what it is. I don't think Lydia Warren is any high-level competition at all, runs through her. But then the Andrea Amaro fight. I think Andrea Amaro is pretty good, man. I think she's not pretty good, but I think she's a good level of competition for your 7th pro fight. I rate Amaro. I rate her well-roundedness, especially her striking. She's pretty decent on the feet. And that was a fight where Malesano found some adversity, man. Like, say what you want, maybe 1-1 on my card. She was down 2-0, Anna was. To a decent level of competition, but still, down 2 rounds, and then, kind of starts to make that adjustment in the second round, throwing a lot of elbows, a lot of lead elbows. And continues that in the 3rd round, just is spamming lead elbows and destroys this chick's face, man. Like, she lands one, cuts her whole fucking forehead open, keeps landing them in the face. She got a big, this chick Amaro, big gash in her forehead, nose is leaking, nose, oh fuck. It was a murder scene, man. It was crazy. So the ref had no choice, called the doctor in. Doctor immediately looked at her, immediately stopped the fight. So very nasty, man. I was like, wow, like, you're watching the tape and you're not thoroughly impressed because she's, she has a lot of hoes, which we're going to talk about, but to pull victory out of the jaws of defeat and do it in that fashion, you just rarely see that type of shit in MMA, man. So very easy to get excited about her. She's very scrappy, very good cardio, big for the weight class, very, good frame, and very scrappy, man. High output, really, really scrappy. With that said, man, UFC debut on short notice. She has been, wanting a spot like this. She's been doing interviews almost all year talking about, listen, the plan is to keep training hard, get a short notice fight, take that shit, and then prove what I got. That kind of came in a little bit of a different way. She got called to do the Ultimate Fighter. She was the #1 pick for Michael Bisping on the Ultimate Fighter, and then gets fucking ran through and subbed in the first round. And that's what kind of stifles the flames that I was having, in my chest after watching her tape. You watch her tape and there's not a lot of tape on ground. She's the tape that there is on ground. She's just dominating from top position, low level competition. So the first real touch of decent competition and someone that's gonna test your ground game, she was getting pieced the fuck up on her feet and absolutely ran through on the ground, like ran through like butter. You know what I'm saying? Sliced through like butter. So not a great look, and especially against Diony Barbosa, man. Diony Barbosa, we know what she's about. Her hands continue to develop. That's not what she wants to do. She doesn't want to kickbox and strike, but Muay Thai background, she's still working on it, still developing it. Her hands are serviceable, but we all know what she wants to do. She wants to get to the judo. She's one of the best BJJ girls in this division, and that's going to be the calling card of this fight. That's why she's minus 500. Um, I see people taking stabs on the Anna side, and listen, she's plus 450. I can't be too mad at it, but um, those kind of gaping holes in her game, I feel like are just gonna be the death of her in a matchup like this. I feel like she's not that great on the feet either. You know what I'm saying? Like she's opportunistic and, like I said, scrappy and nasty, good frame, throws kicks in there. Very, very decent everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to rag on her skills, but if this is a 15-minute kickboxing fight, I think it's going to be close. I don't think she's going to run away from Dione by any means. So, um, and Anna's way too inviting. Like she doesn't use her length that well. She's way too inviting of the clinch, and that's not what you want to do versus Dione, obviously. So, I think Dione's gonna. Who knows, man? Dione's not the smartest fucking crayon in the tool shed. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not the brightest light bulb, in the closet. You know what I'm saying? Like so she might stand too long. She might make some mistakes. Whatever the case is, man, I don't think this is too hard of a matchup for Dione, man. I know people want to rag on her age and this and that, but I watch fight to fight, and I think she's still getting. I don't want to say better fight to fight, but she's still rounding into form. I think like the hands are improving, her aggressiveness has improved, her volume has improved on the feet, um, and can always lean on that judo and slick BJJ. So um, I want to get current prices. And again, like I was saying, I wouldn't be surprised if the first round is maybe a little bit slower, right? Anna is making her UFC debut under bright lights, big crowd. Dione may want to stand up a little bit with her, and whatever the case is. So, you know, there's very little value in this fight. Like, I'll take you guys through it now. So, Dione Barboza by sub is plus 105. So that's not super enticing. I know she's minus 500, and you get that price down to a plus money number. I get that, but it's WMMA at the end of the day. I don't love laying a number like that, even though she can make it look easy. I'm more interested in the later sub round. So, Dione Barboza sub round 2 is plus 550. Dione Barboza sub round 3 is plus 950. Those are what I'm going to be playing. I'll probably split half a unit up evenly on both of those things and just hope she doesn't get it done in round 1. And I don't know. A lot of this is mystery still. I know she just got ran through, but I still don't think Melisano's a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not a quitter. There's no insta taps that's going to be going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think she's a quitter by any means. So you just got to hope you get past the 5 minutes. Dione doesn't fucking hip throw her right away. And Melisano gives up her back and Dione takes it right away. Just got to sweat that 5 minutes. But that's where I think the value is, Plus 550, plus 950. Those are the numbers I want to lay later round props. But I don't know if DK. That's going to be a theme in this card too, man. We're going to look at a lot of takedown props because I think those are money this week. So let's look at if these are posted or not. Because DraftKings be slacking heavy, man. Hello? Oh, okay. I'm tripping. All right, so Melisano Barboza. No takedowns yet. They're probably open on Bet Online, but yeah, I'm interested in that too. It'll probably be unplayable. I'm interested in like a 1.5 if DraftKings drops that, but those are the plays, man. Just I know it's a long-winded breakdown, but Melisano's new. She was brand new for me to break down, so those are the notes that I have on her. I hope that helps you guys a bit. I know Melisano's not going to be a known name at all, except people that really rock with the sport. So, yeah, man. I mean, good curtain jerking, man. On again her shot. I think we get violence. Under 2.5. It's pretty decent, even though I don't know how much finishing equity Melisano has. So again, I'm not looking to lay minus numbers or slight plus money numbers. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at longer shot props on this fight. Barboza round 2 sub plus 550. Barboza round 3 sub plus 950. That's what I'm rocking with small bets, and we move on. All right. Next fight. Next fight is one that I have interest in, surprisingly. So, heavyweight fight. RJ Harris making his UFC debut versus Alvin Guzzi Hines. Current odds, I'm pretty sure some RJ money came in. Like Hines, yeah, he's like minus 125, minus 130. Yeah, I mean, pretty similar odds to the ones that are on screen. Um, so yeah, man. Surprisingly, I have interest in this fight. Normally, UFC debut, Alvin Hines. Been out for a little while, popped for steroids and this and that, coming off that now. But I like Guzzi in this spot, man. I like Alvin Hines. I played him at minus 130. Um, I'm hearing a lot of I'm hearing a lot of like fucking nonsense this week. I feel like about RJ Harris. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm watching the same tape. By the way, fucking Lane Johnson looking ass. This guy right here, Lane Johnson looking ass. What are you doing, bro? You about to play left tackle or something? I don't know. After this, after you get knocked the fuck out, you better play some left tackle or something, Mr. Johnson. Anyways, yeah, man. Listen, I'm not a guy that's disparaging the fighters. Oh, this guy's a bum, this and that. But I just simply don't think RJ Harris is UFC level. Say what you want about Alvin Hines. Probably is UFC level only because he's a heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it. But RJ Harris, I mean, even in a very, very shallow heavyweight division, I just don't think he's UFC level. I don't think he's that good, as respectfully as I can be. His tape is interesting. His tape, he got highlights because he's so opportunistic. He got like some Americanas and some arm subs and this and that on his record. So, shout out to him. Pretty exciting fighter. Like I said, pretty opportunistic. If you make a mistake or, especially in the heavyweight division, these guys are making very simple mistakes and he's jumping on shit like a cat. So, there's danger in that. There's danger in his frame too. He's 6'6", 80-inch reach. That's a big boy. That's a big boy for heavyweight. So, but, with that said, I mean, the 6'6", 80-inch reach part doesn't really matter too much to me because RJ Harris does not fight with his length at all. He's not a guy that uses his length and wants to stay on the outside and jab you up and really take full advantage of his length. So I don't think that's going to matter in this matchup. RJ is not a good striker in my opinion. Not a good technical boxer. Doesn't react well to getting hit. Cardio is relatively unproven. I guess he's an okay grappler, but again, all of these things are very, very untested. Let me see you against a guy that knows how to grapple, knows how to wrestle. A guy like Guzzi. Guzzi is going to be the better striker in this spot. By far the better wrestler in this spot. Probably not the better grappler, I would say, from the tape that I've seen on both guys. But yeah, I mean, I think Alvin can, like I said, use that better striking, use that better wrestling to keep this fight where he wants it. Put pressure on RJ. RJ is going to do what he does probably every fight unless his UFC debut when he gets a little bit gunshot, but he likes to push forward and just fight like a fucking refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna push forward, have no regard for distance, no regard for space, at all, and I'm just gonna try to push these guys back, bully them. Good luck with that versus Guzzi, man. Good luck with that. We've seen people try to do that to Guzzi. We saw that in his UFC debut. Yes, he was getting his ass whipped. I understand, but and that's what everybody's saying this week. Oh, look how he was getting his ass whooped. Yes, for sure. Got his ass whooped first 2 rounds. But that's against Jonathan Denise. Jonathan Denise is a credentialed world-class kickboxer. So let's not fucking pretend like that's even the same conversation as a guy like RJ Harris, man. Let's stop. Let's just stop it. And, again, I know Hines was souped up on them vitamins, them nutrients. You know what I'm saying? I know he was, I understand that, but, round 3, it looked like he was the guy that was going to break the kickboxer. He was the one pushing forward. He won that round. He was doing all the damage and landing all the volume in that fight, in that round, excuse me. So there's stuff to be said, now that he got popped and is off the juice, is the cardio just going to absolutely disappear? Maybe. But like I said, RJ Harris's cardio is completely unproven. Striking, not good in my opinion. He's just not good in my opinion. So um, I don't think I had any more notes in terms of like resume and shit. Um, like this Charlie Cleveland fight, like that fight was relatively back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And Charlie Cleveland is nowhere near the level. Say what you want about Alvin, man, but nowhere near the level of Alvin Hines, man. So Phil Latu, probably one of the worst to ever do it. Mount Rushmore worst to ever do it. So I don't know, man. I don't see Alvin falling for the very extremely basic shit. The extremely sloppy and non-technical shots from RJ Harris, the fucking Kimura Americanas. Like I don't see Alvin falling for that type of shit. I don't think RJ is gonna sniff a takedown in this fight, to be honest with you, and I think he's fucked. I think he's fucked. So um, I don't. I mean, I'll check current prices. I don't know how I feel about picking around. Um, I could see Alvin getting him out of there in 1 and 2 and 3. You know what I'm saying? I could see this being a sloppy kind of heavyweight slot fest like we've seen so many times this year and every other year, and Alvin somehow winning the decision. Um, Alvin by decision is only plus 430. That's what I'm saying. Like these prices aren't great in my opinion. I'll check the round props to see if anything jumps. So method around. I mean, I think there's some value on the 2-3 KO props for Hines, but like I said, he can easily get it done in round one. So probably favor 1-2. You know what I'm saying? Like Hines round 1 KO plus 500, Hines round 2 KO plus 800. Those will probably get my money. Already played Hines money line minus 130. So yeah, man. I know some people are gonna absolutely hate that pick. It is what it is. Do what you want with your money, but styles make fights, matchups make fights. Say what you want about Alvin, but as real as you're gonna be about Alvin, be as real about RJ. You know what I'm saying? So um, yeah, man. First money line pick of the card, Goozy, man, Goozy. Let's move on. Next fight. Again, I refuse to make graphics for a fucking minus 1500, so I'm just not gonna do it. Alden Correa versus Stuart Nickel. The current lines are ridiculous. Yeah, Correa's like minus 1100. The comeback on Stuart Nickel doesn't matter. He should not be fucking donating, but it's plus 700, plus 730, whatever you want to say. The only things that even minutely interest me in this fight are later props. You know, I missed the boat on the over 1.5 by far. Like it's minus 180, minus 190 on some places now. Like I just missed the boat on that. So I'm not too interested in that, but I'm interested in some of these later props with Correa. Correa, he kind of, I don't want to say typical 4 ounce Fight Club guy, like, similar to a guy, Correa's the 4 ounce guy, right? Or is that somebody else? Again, I just hate being wrong. Let me fucking double check it, man. Yeah, 4 ounce. Yeah, 4 ounce. So, uh, very similar to guys like Josh Van, a little bit of a slower starter, and then has no problem, you know, rolling extremely downhill, putting the pace on guys. Very, very good cardio to break people. And if these guys show any sense of slowing down, Correa is a guy that's gonna break you, and I think that can very well happen. Now my screen is bugging out. That can very well happen in this fight too. I mean, we've seen Nichols' deficiencies. We've seen how one-dimensional he is. He was dominating on that Australia, New Zealand regional scene, whatever the fuck it is. He was dominating, running through low-level competition, and now you get to the UFC. He's getting finished left and right. The takedowns aren't working. Nothing's really working. So, when you're getting wrapped up in less than 3 minutes by Jesus Aguilar, in the only way that Jesus Aguilar wins fights, which is by guillotine, that's a problem, man. Especially when you're supposed to be, the extremely high level wrestler. So that's a big problem. Um, and then Lucas Rocha fight is what it is. 3-round decision there, and then gets deaded by Alessandro Costa. I think this fight will look a little bit more similar to the Costa fight rather than the Jesus fight, where Nick was shooting sloppily and putting his head in the bad positions. We've seen him fix that a little bit in his tape after that fight. I think it'll be a little bit of a slow burn, man. Correa starting out a little bit slower. Nickel trying to push the pace, trying to get takedowns and this and that, trying to stay safe, push him up against the cage, and implement his game plan. So I think, the minutes kind of melt away in the first round. So with that said, I'll get current prices for you guys. There's another fight, man, just like the Barboza fight. I'm looking at later props. So Correa round 2 KO is 600. Correa round 3 KO is 800. The sub numbers in 2-3 are a little bit juicier. That's what I hate. Like, I think he can definitely finish this fight either way. Sub, knockout. It's just the round props are fucking dog shit. Like, Correa round 2 is plus 320. Let me see if there's a best price. Yeah, Correa round 2 is plus 320. Correa round 3 is plus 450. Like, those are terrible, man. And I still have to sweat. Like, I think it's gonna be a slow burn, but there's no guarantee. Like, would I be shocked if Correa finishes Stewart inside of 1? No, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? So those prices just aren't enticing. So I feel forced to kind of pick a method of victory, and that bothers me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So if I had to guess, it would be a knockout. So that's probably what I'll play. But again, I feel like kind of playing Russian roulette a bit. I think both outcomes are likely, so that would lend me to the sub because the sub are better numbers. But I think it's a KO. I think it's a KO. So Correa 2-3. Pick what method you want. I'll probably go with KO. And we move on. Very exciting fight, man. Very exciting fight up next. Ezra Elliott versus Damian Anderson. Current odds. Yeah, about what you see on screen. You can get a plus 116 on Ezra on FanDuel, but that is an outlier in the market. Average in the market is around what you see on screen. So very exciting fight, man. On paper, I know a lot of people, that watch the sport aren't gonna know either of these guys. You see the records, 7-0, 5-0, but two very, very bright prospects, two hyped prospects, probably more so on the Ezra side. But yeah, I'm fading that hype, man. I like Damian in this matchup. I got minus 120, same thing you see on screen. Yeah, man. So a couple of different things. So I guess we'll start on the Ezra side. Like I said, Ezra very, very hyped up. Both guys making their UFC debut, obviously, but Ezra very, very hyped up and deservedly so. Very, very good high school wrestler, national champion, All-American in high school, very credentialed high school wrestler. Decided not to do it in college, not because he wasn't good enough. Decided not to do it in college. Decided to go more the kickboxing MMA route. Which kind of lends him here. And then you watch the tape and you see how fucking disgusting he is. You see right off the bat, 7-0, 7 first round finishes, 5 by sub, 2 by KO. Say what you want about the KOs. His last fight was, I guess, truly a KO. He wanted to make a point in that fight. It was obvious. He still did his normal thing, pushing forward, throwing strikes, shot a takedown, got it, but was immediately looking to get him out of there via punches, and did just that. But yeah, man, we know what Ezra wants to do. I love guys like Ezra, guys with a background, and you don't have to question what they're gonna do when they get in there. It's his UFC debut, so maybe he, lays an egg and pulls a stunt. Maybe, but I doubt it. As soon as the bell rings, He's pushing forward, very, kind of jumpy style, in and out, in and out, in and out, trying to overload your mind. But he's looking to shoot, man. He's looking to shoot ASAP. Within the first 20, 30 seconds of the round, he's looking to shoot, getting on your hips, very, very quick shots, very nasty entries, very nasty finishes, man. He is the real motherfucking deal when it comes to this wrestling shit. And when it comes to the grappling shit too. So, again, not the highest level of competition. And that's part of the reason why I'm fading him, So with that said, all of those things, very nasty. We see it. Pick any one of his fights on his resume. Go watch it. A lot of them are available. Go watch it. And immediately you will see what he's about. All of his fights are the same. A carbon copy of the last one. Like I said, bell rings, darting across the octagon, looking to stand up with you for a little while, kind of that slight level change kind of style. I'm trying to think about who. I'm not good with that type of shit at all. Whatever, but you'll see it. Just very kind of bouncy style. He's looking to kind of, like I said, make you think a little bit. He might throw it, a couple punches, may throw some kicks in there. But like I said, within the first 30 seconds of the fight, is looking to shoot. And because all of his fights have been carbon copies, hasn't been out of the first round, hasn't even been to the 4th minute of the first round. In any of his pro fights, he did go 3 rounds in the amateurs. I personally was not able to find that fight. That fight was wasn't even that, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. So that's a fight that I really wanted to see. Because obviously he went 3 rounds and we don't have any of that tape in his pro career, but still, that's amateurs are still very, very different. Shorter rounds, headgear in some of these spots. So, yeah, man. So, cardio past round 1 completely unproven. Striking completely unproven. I don't think he's a great striker by any means. Just from, again, there's not a shit ton of tape, but he does decide to take the first 30 seconds, first minute of the first round to strike with these guys. And, I guess okay head kicks. I guess he's okay, but I don't feel like he has really any power on the feet. And we all know what he wants to do. And that's kind of the problem in this fight. As nasty as he is of a wrestling grappler, now you find Damian Anderson, who is a better grappler than you. Damian Anderson is another very, very bright prospect. Different path. He's been grappling all his life as opposed to Ezra, who's been wrestling all his life. Damian Anderson has been training under Nicky Rod, who is probably like one of the 3 best grapplers on earth, despite weight or anything like that. So that should tell you by itself, what you're in for with a kid like this. Very, very nasty grappling, man. Very, very nasty front chokes, very nasty, leg attacks, especially from bottom. That's what he does. I don't want to say that's what he does because he is very, very well-rounded, way more well-rounded than a guy like Ezra, way more proven on the feet. We've seen him strike for entire rounds. We've seen him outstrike guys he is not supposed to be outstriking on paper, true strikers. And we're seeing him do it for extended periods of the fight. So that's just something we do not see with Ezra at all. You cannot show me tape of Ezra striking for more than 60 seconds. You can't do it. He doesn't want to do it. That is not his game. So for as long as this fight stays on the feet, which I don't think is very much of the fight at all, Damian has the advantage there. And then, Ezra is going to do the same thing he does in every fight, which is try to shoot. Ezra is going to get takedowns. That is a fact. Ezra is going to get a takedown. He's going to get it early in this fight. That's just not going to be a problem. I just don't think that's going to be a problem. Ezra is just so unproven. I've seen guys get up from under him. I've seen it. I've seen it not be one takedown and the fight is over. I've seen guys work back up and he has to mat return them and dominate from there. And again, these are all low-level guys. So if you're going to choose, which Ezra is, to wrestle and grapple Damian, you're choosing voluntarily to put yourself in the most dangerous positions versus a guy like Damian. So I do not like that. In this spot, I think Ezra is going to win a lot of fights in the UFC, man. A lot of fights. Like, he's He's 26. You know what I'm saying? So 7-0, making his UFC debut. I think he's gonna be just fine. I think he's very, very talented. And like I said, I think he's gonna win a lot of fights. I just don't think this is a good matchup. I think Damian has a lot more power on the feet, much better striker. You know, Damian is not like a fucking Golden Glove boxer by any fucking means. You know, I don't think he's polished at all on the feet, but much better striker, much more power on the feet, and a better grappler. So, not a better wrestler at all. You know, I absolutely give Ezra that, but yeah, man, all of those facets of the fight, and then preliminary stuff. Uh, Cardio is more proven. You know what I'm saying? We've seen him pass one round multiple times. We've seen him get round 2 finishes. Does he have a round 3 finish? No. But we've seen him get several round 2 finishes, and that's the things. I mean, I'd like to see more. Now that these guys have really had too much adversity. But yeah, they gonna get it. They gonna get it this fight. I guarantee you that, both guys, because like I said, Damian is gonna be taken down in this fight. But yeah, man, just very, very tough stylistic matchup for Ezra, in my opinion. So I like the short price. Damian too, I feel like is gonna win a lot of fights in the UFC. So I think we're gonna see matchups, both of these guys, where they're minus 300, minus 400. You know what I'm saying? So I'll take the slight discount on the guy that I think is better in a lot of fucking places, a lot of places. So, but very, very good fight. Second money line play of the card, Damian Anderson money line minus 120. Let's look at some props like we always do, man. Again, it's tough because, like, what does Elliot's cardio look like? Usually, that wrestling, that gritty, relentless wrestling cardio is good. It's good cardio, but it's just unproven. So, oh, Damian's gonna wear on him, make him work around one, tire him out. Like, if I say that, there's no evidence of that. You know what I'm saying? So, Damian, yeah, I mean, are full props even out for this fight? Hold on, let me. Yeah, full props really aren't even out for this fight. I mean, Fanatics has some. That's really the only book. Damian by submission is plus 370 there. Like, I can absolutely see Damian locking up like a knee bar or like a toe hold type of situation. Again, I know that may sound disrespectful because Elliott is such a credentialed wrestler, but not in the same universe in terms of grappling, in my opinion. At least not credential wise. So I could definitely see that. Ezra gets the takedown. Ezra is extremely aggressive from top, so I don't see that playing into his favor either. I can see him getting him down, looking to lane, ground and pound, overextending himself. Damian kind of rolling for a leg, hitting a knee bar, as he's done in his pro career already. So, yeah, man, maybe FanDuel gives us a slightly better price. Maybe I get Damian sub. Maybe get Damian sub like plus 400 or something like that. I'd be slightly enticed in that. It sucks. I like to give you guys actionable information, actual bets. But it's tough, props aren't out. But if I get 4XX, then I'll play Damian by sub. And but yeah, great fight, great fight. Next fight is also one that I have interest in. Fucking surprisingly, holy shit. Levi Rodriguez Jr. versus Felipe Franco. Current odds about what you see on screen. Right around there, about what you see on screen. Levi anywhere from minus 150 to minus 155. Comeback on Felipe is plus 130. So it's my first dog shot of the card. I like Mr. Felipe in this spot. Plus 130, I think, is a criminal price. I have a hard time, worst case scenario, making this fight pick him. Just pick him minus 110 each. But I'd make Felipe the slight favor, man. I'd give Felipe like minus 115, minus 120. So, seeing any plus number, let alone plus 130, plus 140s at some spots in front of his name, man, I like it. I got plus 135 on Felipe. Yeah, man, Levi's another guy. 2 guys on this fucking card that just popped for steroids. So, Levi now offered the juice, and it's crazy because he was already a little tubby, you know. But what has it been? It's been less than a year. So would he get like 6 months or something like that? I didn't see the I didn't see the sentence. I know that motherfucker popped though. So yeah, man, coming on Contender Series. Uh, some adversity in that fight, which we'll talk about, but you know, Starch is Freddie Vidal. Freddie Vidal is not necessarily the highest level of competition, nonetheless. Because we're gonna talk about some of Felipe's competition as well, but nonetheless, does the job, gets a contract, and then pops the steroids. So he's been out like what, fucking 8 months, something like that, 9 months. Um, Still, you know, gets a shot in the UFC. I'd have to look into what he popped for because motherfuckers just don't give a shit no more. Anyways, yeah, man, I just Levi's not a guy that I want to be laying any type of juice with at the UFC level. I know people are playing Levi, and people that are playing Levi are going to point to, you know, some obvious things on the Felipe Franco side, and I get that, but still, you know, minus 160 is the fucking absolute premium price to be laying on a guy that is off the steroids now, is very much unproven, especially cardio wise, especially off the fucking steroids. Um, and a guy who's wrestling and grappling is a complete mystery. And I have my fucking assumptions, uh, or my suspicions. Let's just say, I think that's a better word. I have my suspicions that his wrestling and grappling is complete fucking ass. So all of those things, and you're laying minus 160. I don't like that at all. On the flip side, part of the reason why a lot of people are gravitating towards Levi this week. Um, Let me just see something too, because if I remember correctly, hold on. Oh no. Fuck, man. The Fade God is on Bashi, man. Fuck. That's not good. Anyways, let's try to find what we were looking for. He's on DDP, which is good. Damn, I guess I was. Damn, I forgot he's on Mitch Ramirez too. That's fucking RIP. RIP. I forgot about that, man. That changes a whole lot for me. Yeah, maybe I was thinking about somebody else. I don't see. I could have swore he was on Levi, but it might have been somebody else. So yeah, man, laying a price like this is just non-conducive to, I feel like, winning long term. That's what I was gonna say. A lot of people that are kind of gravitating towards the Levi side are talking about the obvious with a guy like Felipe. You know, he lost his last fight to Mario Pinto. A lot of people aren't that high on Mario Pinto, so there's that. And then that same guy that I was talking about, Levi Starchin, that wasn't a high level of competition, not only beat Felipe Franco, but finished Felipe Franco, outlasted Felipe Franco. And I remember that fight, man. I bet on Felipe in that fight. He was going against a fucking part-time school teacher, who outlasted him, outdogged him, and broke him in round three. So it was just imagine my surprise. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was crazy scenes, crazy fucking scenes. Nevertheless, my screen keeps going out. I'm gonna have to fix that shit. Obviously, this is annoying as fuck. I don't know what to do right now. Just literally going in and out. So fucking annoying. But yeah, you know, the kid. So about as terrible as a look as you can get, right? Especially cardio wise, right? Especially a guy that kind of, you know, has devastating power in his hands, but wants to wrestle and grapple. Not having great cardio is not a great thing. But you know, I think a lot of those questions were answered in his UFC debut against Mario Pinto. First of all, that fight was at heavyweight. I think it was very, very clear. You know, that fight was on short notice, up a weight class in a class he just simply has no business being in. And that card was in England, so he flew not across halfway across the world, to fight on short notice to fight a heavyweight, a big, tall, gigantic heavyweight, um, and looked decent in that fight, man. I know he lost that fight, lost a 3 round decision, but in round three, he's looking pretty good, man. He's looking way different than he looked in that contender series fight. So I don't know, man. Maybe he's taking the same shit that Levi was taking. He's just doing it better. I don't know what the case is, but I don't see the cardio necessarily being a major factor in this fight because of how much better he looked and because of how um, unproven Levi is. Especially you know second and third round cardio wise, and in the wrestling and grappling. You know what I'm saying? So the one thing Levi does have is power. Levi is extremely powerful on the feet. That's what he uses to win his fights. So that's his win equity. Levi round one KO is a lot of his win equity, and that's how he wins his fight. And I would not be surprised if that does happen. But the reason I like Felipe, especially at this plus money number, just more ways to win, in my opinion. I think if he wants to wrestle, I think he's going to. And if he does, I think he's going to have success with it. I think he can use that wrestling, chain it to the grappling, have a lot of success doing that. I think he's more likely to win a decision. I think he's more likely to win round three if we get there. Those are a lot of fucking advantages, man. Especially when a guy's plus 130. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not gonna go too crazy or anything like that. In terms of yapping and shit, low level light heavyweight fight, but you know, plus 130, I feel like is a very very generous price. Let's check props. So Felipe by sub is plus 550. They favor the K. Books are favoring the KO plus 480. Levi by KO is fucking even money when his money line is minus 150. That's crazy. So that just kind of more so proves what I feel like in this fight, which is a lot of his equity is KO. A lot of it is early in this fight. If he does it, so be it. It's a fight. If he gets touched on the feet, it is what it is. The Felipe playing props wise is a little bit tough because like the last fight, man, or whatever fight we were just talking about. Last fight, I can see it happening any round. Maybe not round three. Like I don't think Felipe has fucking like warrior Marab type fucking cardio or anything like that to be pulling away and finish your guys in round three. So maybe I favor just the round one, round two. So if we get spicy, we do Felipe round one sub plus 1200. Felipe round two sub plus 1800. I like those numbers a lot, man. I like those numbers a lot. If you take the method out of it, Felipe round one is plus 550. Felipe round two is plus 850. I don't know if I want to lay that number because I feel like both of these guys are probably just as likely to finish each other in round one, I would say. People love to shit on Felipe, but say what you want about the level of competition. Levi's level of competition is just as dog shit. But Felipe is a finisher. You know what I'm saying? There's no question about that. 10 wins, 10 finishes, 6 by KO, 4 by sub. So the man is a finisher, man. So, he's gonna run into some problems in the UFC like he already has. Not in this fight though. Not against Levi, I don't think. Avoid the big shot within the first 3 minutes. I feel like he wins this fight at a high clip. All of the 2-3 equity in my opinion. So yeah, man. First dog shot of the card. Felipe Franco, baby. Felipe Franco. What's this man's nickname? I feel like I know it. I'm not even gonna try to say that, man. I am not gonna get canceled. Y'all go look that up if y'all want to on ESPN. What his nickname is. I'm leaving that shit alone. Um, my man Philly Fade in the chat. Finesse is Philly Fade. We dropping a generation of wealth on DDP. I don't think so, my brother. I do not think so, my brother. Stay tuned for that one. I haven't placed any money on it yet because I do think DDP money's gonna come in, but the price has been kind of slowly getting a little bit worse on Kamaru, but we'll see, man. I don't think I'm there with you, my brother. All right. it really just hurt my fucking soul that I saw the Fade God is on Austin Bashi, man. That's one of my favorite plays of the week. Next fight. Sorry about that. Fuck. Hold on, real quick, chat. Okay. So next fight is Jean-Paul Leboznoyani. I always fuck that last name up. Leboznoyani, JPL versus Song Hyung Ko, Seong Hyung Ko. Feel me? Current. You better suck on this Ko. That was. I should just end stream right there. Ko is sizable favorite, minus 180, minus 190. Comeback on JPL, plus 150 ish, plus 160 around there. I don't have too much to say about this fight. I don't have any action right now. I do lean towards Ko. Ko has shown to be able to get the wrestling going, be pretty relentless, have amazing 15-minute cardio, especially with the relentless pace that he does push. So I think that's kind of the story of this fight, is just him getting takedowns, him finding, excuse me, him finding enough top time and kind of decisioning JPL. What's the odds on that? Ko by decision plus 140. Yeah. But with that said, man, I don't think Ko presents a real threat to JPL on the feet. Ko is definitely serviceable on the feet, but I don't think he poses a threat. I think JPL is very sneaky on the feet too, really good head kicks. JPL is probably the more powerful striker on the feet. So I don't like that laying minus 200. I don't like his lack of finishing ability on the mat as well. You know, he's keeping guys down for fucking 10 minutes and not really threatening the finishes. I don't like that as a minus 200 favorite. So I just think there's a close fight, man. And I'm not looking to lay minus 200, but I know the price is a little bit enticing on JPL because of the big plus money number. I'm not interested, man. I just don't feel like I have a good enough read to get involved. And, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes that happens. Next fight. The one that my heart just fucking broke on. Austin Bashi versus Jose Delgado. Current odds. More and more Bashi money's coming in, man. Like, Bashi is the, definitive favorite now, I would say. It was sitting at evens. It's even on the screen. That's where it was sitting for a while, but we're seeing more minus 120s, minus 118s, shit like that. And now you can get plus money in a lot of spots on Delgado. So slight steam towards the Bashi side. And unfortunately, that's the side I like. You got to roll with your read. I believe the Fade God had a good week last week too. So I fucking hate it even more that he's on Bashi. It is what it is, man. Hopefully this is one that he gets to go through the motherfucking hoop. Yeah, I like Bashi, man. I am, and this is coming from a guy that is very high on Jose Delgado. I've backed Jose in winning efforts. I've backed Jose in losing efforts. Well, it's only one losing effort, but I thought he did win that fight. Watching live, I thought he won. Rewatching it, I did think it was a little bit closer than I originally thought, but I still, watching it back, gave it to Jose Delgado. So I was extremely high on him coming into the UFC. I cashed on him versus Connor, versus Hyder. I played him versus Nathaniel Wood and got fucked. I bet him versus versus Feely, but I didn't make any profit off of that because I played a lot of fucking Delgado to finish Feely. But it is what it is. I mean, so I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. I've backed that fandom up with my money multiple times, several times. But this is a different kind of fight, man. And styles make fights. Fights make fights. And yeah, man, Jose is extremely fucking dangerous, man. Extremely dangerous on the feet. Uses every limb to his advantage. Is powerful with every limb. Knees, elbows, kicks. Good at range. Good in close. Pretty good footwork. Good volume early. So yeah, man, it's very, very dangerous. He can grapple as well. Not a slouch in the grappling realm. Nowhere near Bashi, which we'll talk about. But so, great size for the division. He's gonna have 5-inch height advantage, 4-inch reach advantage. All of those things favor Delgado. I'm still fading him at even money in this fight, and I think this fight comes down to relentlessness, output, pace. I think that's what it comes down to, and I think those things are going to be a little bit too much for Jose. Bashi is a fucking machine. I I stole this from somebody because I was trying to figure out, like, I was trying to cap, like, what's Bashi's ceiling in this division? Like, what's the best he could go in this division? I was trying to, like, what's his fighter comparison, and I couldn't really. It wasn't coming to me, and then I think it was on Twitter. I wish I remember who it was so I could shout that person out, but I forget, man. And they're like, listen, he not Marab, but he's fucking close. Like, he's same archetype, same fighting style, same type of, like, I don't want to say same type of cardio, but very similar cardio base. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't agree more, man. I couldn't agree more. Nobody's like Marab. Marab is 101. But Austin's pretty fucking close, man. And I think those things, that output, that relentlessness, takedown threat, is going to be too much for Jose in a spot like this. Jose has been taken down before against much, much worse and less credentialed uh, wrestlers like Nathaniel Wood, like Andre Philly. I believe Andre got him down, right? I'm not tripping. Yeah, Andre got him down 4 times in that fight. So, again, Jose, not a slouch. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jose, good grappler, good scrambler, urgency when he gets to the mat. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has that urgency, which is what you love to see. Again, Austin Bashi, not a guy you can give these positions to. So, yeah, man. Another thing that very, very much worries me. I don't think that was proper English. One thing that worries me a lot with a guy like Jose is the cardio. He's not a death gas or anything like that, but in the Philly fight, in the Nathaniel Wood fight, we're watching him slow down at the end of round 2, in round 3. We're watching it with our own fucking eyes. So, as dangerous as this guy is, as high output, high pace, high pressure as this guy is, he does slow down, and Bashi does not do that. So, if you're gonna make it easier on Bashi as this fight plays out, um, that's not gonna be good. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad, my Jose. It's gonna be bad, my Jose. You know what I'm saying? So, um, and Bashi, there was a lot of questions. I still feel like with Bashi going into that C-Rod fight. C-Rod, and I say all those things about Jose, right? How good of a grappler he is, how good of a scrambler he is. Um, Jose is not a better grappler, not a better scrambler than Christian Rodriguez. He's just not. He's just not. Um, Christian Rodriguez probably has, like, probably the best scrambling in the featherweight division. Probably top 5 scrambler in the fucking UFC. I respect that aspect of his game that much. You know what I'm saying? So to have the success that he had in that fight, I know he lost that fight. Listen, kid is 23 years old at that time, making his UFC debut against fucking Christian Rodriguez. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give him at least a little bit of credence. Um, I was impressed by that performance. To be able to win some of these positions, out scramble Christian in some of these spots, very, very impressive. So if he's going to do that to Christian, he is going to do that to Jose. There's no question in my mind. Another thing in that fight is, C-Rod doesn't have a lot of power, on the feet. His hands, not a ton of power with his hands, but Christian landed a big lead knee in that fight. Bashi was shooting in for a takedown. Christian read it, threw a knee up the middle, caught him fucking flush in the jawbone, bro. Flush. Perfect timing, perfect accuracy, flush on the motherfucking chin. So say what you want about C-Rod's power. Anybody lands a knee on your fucking, with that type of power on your jaw, and you eat that shit like Bashi did, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? I respect that shit. So we haven't seen that too much on Bashi's tape. You know, him eating humongous shots. But I rate Austin's toughness. I rate his durability. I rate his ability to absorb damage. So how does Jose win this fight? I think it's early. I think it's violently, you know, as he's shown that he can do. I think that's going to be very tough versus Bashi, man. Very, very tough. You know, at a pick and price, you know, if you're going to give me a pick and price versus Jose, in which, you know, again, I backed him at both the Philly fight and the Wood fight. I do not, for as much faith as I had in him, and again, Nathaniel Wood, I rate incredibly high as well. Nathaniel Wood is a fucking savage, extremely well rounded, savage. So I don't take anything away. But what I expected in that fight is Jose to pull away, use his length. I mean, yeah, use his length and height, use his physicality to kind of bully the smaller Nathaniel Wood, um, and show Nathaniel Wood's fragility once again. You know, Nathaniel Wood got a baby chin. His recoverability is pretty good, but he does have a fucking baby chin. Um, so I was like, okay, Jose's gonna expose that once again. That's not the type of fight that I really wanted to see. You know, you going life and death and making it 50-50 with Nathaniel Wood is not really what I want to see. Although I do rate Nathaniel Wood very high, like I said. Philly fight was even worse. You know what I'm saying? I know this kid is still young, 28. He's 27. You know, around the time the Hyder Nathaniel Wood fights. So still young and improving. Should be improving fight to fight. So I'm like, okay, I thought you won that fight. I thought you got robbed. Very, very high level of competition. Now you're taking a step down. You know, another 6, 7, 8 months to improve at that age against a guy who, another baby chin, even worse than Nathaniel's. And you go to split decision with Andre. Again, I don't really think it was a split, in my opinion. But you make it close enough where one judge scores it for Andre Philly, and you're fighting close with Andre. Round 3, you lost to a guy like Andre Philly. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are things that I just can't. I think Jose's going to be fine. He's going to fucking starch plenty more motherfuckers in the UFC. You know, I don't want to be too disparaging, you know what I'm saying? But seeing what I've seen, the type of style that Austin brings, like I said, that pace, output, relentlessness, it's going to be too much, man. And I think with how much Austin is going to make Jose work, once we go to the 7.5, 8 minute mark of this fight, you're going to see Jose start to slow down, takedowns start to become easier. You know what I'm saying? So, although Jose's scrambling ability is good as fuck, like I said, I rate C-Rod's scrambling ability higher, and Austin has really good fucking control, man. Really good control. So, you know, because I respected Delgado's get-ups and scrambles so much, I'm looking at Austin's takedown props. Again, not listed on DraftKings yet, but I'm pretty sure probably like a 2.5. You know, the fight is very, very favored to go over 1.5 rounds. So, yeah, man. Um, these DraftKings splits, I don't really agree with. I don't think they're the most accurate in the world. But I did look at some splits last night, like late last night, and over 60% of the money was on Jose Delgado, yet the line is pushing the other way. So that's just another little cherry on top. Again, all this yapping that I just fucking said, all these advantages and all that pretty shit, we still got to overcome the fade, guys. So that's a monumental hill to climb. Um, you know, we got to defeat the fucking the boss. We got to defeat the level boss, the boss level. Um, but yeah, man. So once they drop on DraftKings, I will look at Bashi takedowns. Already on the money line at -110. If the takedowns is like 2.5, probably 2.5, I'll be comfortable playing. Then yeah, I'll play that as well. Very good fight, man. This is what I mean. Like this card has so many great fights littered throughout it. Very exciting. So yeah, man. Bashi season, hopefully. Um, all right. What's the next fight? All right, we are moving on to the main card, ladies and gentlemen. Main card of UFC OKC. We got 5 fights still left to talk about. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that sub button on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter, appreciate you for doing that. Think about moving over to YouTube, man. Move over to YouTube. We're going to be doing a lot of exciting things there. If you are watching on YouTube, much, much appreciated. We're trying to build this every single day, man. Every single day we're trying to build. Still pretty new on this YouTube shit. But yeah, man, road to 100 subscribers. Hit that like button. Helps your boy out a ton. And comment too. Comment what your favorite fight is, what your best bet is. I'd love to hear from you guys. Do all of those things for me. I would very much appreciate that. Hit that like button, man. It's free, very simple. All you gotta do is fucking go like this, little on your phone. You feel me? One little thumb scroll. You know what I'm saying? Boop, right there, and then we back, and then we back here, and then we continue. You know what I'm saying? So, next fight, kicking off the main card for UFC OKC. Tommy Gun McMillan versus Alberto. What's this kid's nickname? The Problem, is it? Or Prodigy? Promise. How dare I? How fucking dare I? So current odds. I mean, Tommy's been steaming, man. Tommy's been steaming. Let's see if it's continued. Yeah, about what you see on screen. So Tommy, pretty sizable favorite, -160. Alberto Montez is +140. Interesting, man. Tommy was, I know these are early lines and, people can't get down on these lines, but I think he was like +200, +225, and then it's been kind of one-way action. Tommy was still kind of slight dog, then pushed the favorite, then Tommy was -115, then -120, and now we see all the way up to -160. So, that's bullish on my side. I do like Tommy in this fight. I feel like I missed the value, which sucks. I don't know. I haven't decided how I'm going to play it, but I do like Tommy in this fight for a couple of different reasons. People love to hate on Tommy. I know his bravado and the way he talks kind of makes that easy, but I mean, his fighting style don't make that easy. If you love fighting, I don't know how you hate a guy like Tommy McMillan, man. All violence, all gas, no breaks, relentlessness, extremely tough, no quit in him. I don't know. Can y'all hear my baby screaming? I don't know if I can hear that shit, but I think he's in a bath going fucking wilding. My heart. I don't think YouTube gonna like that. Screaming babies in the background. Anyways, yeah, motherfucker do not want to be in a bath right now. So yeah, man. Hey, if you love fighting, I don't know how you hate a guy like Tommy McMillan, but yeah, against Alberto Montez, man. Alberto, I think he's a pretty good fighter, man. Pretty well rounded, pretty slick on the feet, pretty technical. Straight shots on the feet, good kicking game. And then we all know what he's about with his grappling, man. Nasty front chokes, one hell of a fucking squeeze. If he wraps up your neck, man, it's GG's with every single person he's been in the octagon with. If he wraps your neck up, it is GG's. You are not escaping that shit. Just go night night or tap. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. So pretty well rounded. But like I said, styles make fights. I guess for the technical wizards and technical nerds out there, they probably hate this matchup for Tommy because Tommy's not technical. That's not his game. That's not what you watch Tommy for. Not really a lot of technicality. The reason we haven't seen a lot of technicality in his Dana White Contender Series fight or in his UFC debut is because he decides not to wrestle a ton. That's not his game. He likes to pressure guys, make them shoot on him, and then do some of the same things that Alberto does. Wrap up front chokes, out wrestle guys. So he's not a wrestling first guy. So his technicality and his smoothness come in his wrestling grappling. The reason you see a lot of chaos is because, like I say, he decides to strike. That's what he likes to do. He wants to get in guys' face, put a relentless pressure, relentless pace, Similar to Bashi, but in different ways. You know, Tommy wants to do that with his hands, with his feet, with his fucking knees. Bashi wants to do that with everything, especially his wrestling. So, and that exact thing is why I favor Tommy in this fight. You know, people love to glaze Alberto, man. I don't know what it really is about it. I know he has a shiny record. He's 12-1. Da da da. Um, it's 12-1. All of those good shit. A lot of pretty finishes, like I said. You know, pretty looking, you know, karate style striking. So I guess easy to like from an aesthetic perspective when you're watching a fight. But I mean, I don't think he's overly impressive anywhere, man. The front choke series is obviously devastating, so I give him that. But I mean, not powerful on the feet. I don't think he has, you know, fight changing, round changing power on the feet. And I think he's a guy that very easily gets put on his back foot, and I don't think he likes pressure a ton. You know, and I don't like to put so much into one fight. You know, I don't do that, especially on the regionals. But you know, there's you know, we've seen Alberto fucking absolutely deaded on the regionals. We've seen it happen before. He was out cold against this Era Lukowski, and a couple things about that fight, man. So again, I'm not putting too much stock into one fight. The reason I like Tommy is a variety of different things. But a couple notes on that Era fight. Um, First of all, it wasn't that long ago, right? It was like 4 or 5 years ago. And that was after Montez took that long break from MMA. So he took that long break, came back, had a fight under his belt already. This is his second fight back. Era, Era Lukowski, right? 35 years old at the time. He was only 2-0 in MMA. And the guy's just not very good, in my opinion, right? Yo, why don't you think Era's very good in your opinion, right? Oh, he's only 2-0, blah, blah, blah. So after he absolutely slimes out, just fucking deads Alberto Montez, he fought in MMA 4 more times after that. The results of those 4 fights, immediately after sliming out Montez, he gets rear naked choked in round 1. After that, he gets knocked the fuck out in round 2. After that, he gets knocked the fuck out in round 1. And then immediately after that, he gets knocked the fuck out in round 3. So 4 fights after sliming out Montez, lost all four by a devastating finish. I mean, that just as bad as it gets in terms of how that loss is aging for Alberto. And again, it was a one hitter quitter that knocked him out, but it wasn't just first 30 seconds, lucky shot. Like Era won the first round of that fight, and Era won the first round by doing exactly what I think Tommy's gonna do. I think Era pushed forward right away from the opening bell, ran across the octagon, started throwing combinations, pushed forward, pushed Montez up against the cage, got some clinch control. Didn't really succeed in terms of wrestling, but got some clinch control, got some cage control, and put a pace on Montez, and that won him, in my opinion, the first round. Um, you know, and then second round starts, and within the first 30 seconds of the second round, knocks Montez the fuck out. And I think a lot of that had to do with Ero kind of wearing on Montez in round 1, and then Montez being a little bit less bouncy, just slightly less bouncy. Era is throwing a combination. Montez kind of circles out, but circles out too slow and is not in the right position and gets caught by Era while trying to circle out and gets put the fuck out cold. Not a TKO, nothing like that. He was out fucking cold, trying to grapple the ref. You know what I'm saying? So that is just tough scenes. Tough scenes, man. Tough scenes. So, like I said, I don't think he does well with pressure. He's going to be the better striker technically in this fight, but I think Tommy has. I mean, it's tough. Like, I'm trying to put my thoughts into a fucking sentences. Like, Alberto's the better technical striker. I think Tommy has more power. I think Tommy's more versatile on the feet in terms of knees, elbows, all of those things. Alberto likes to fight pretty from range. He is not going to get that fight in this fight. You know what I'm saying? Tommy is much, much better in close, much grittier, much grimier in close, and like I said, a lot more versatile with the striking. So all of those things, I think, are going to help make up for his wild lack of fucking technicality, sloppiness on the feet. Is Tommy extremely easy to hit? Yes. Is that going to matter in this fight? No. Alberto does not have KO power. I've seen Tommy eat a shit ton of damage already. So I respect and rate his durability and toughness. So how does Alberto win this fight? How? Is it a decision? I don't think so. I think Tommy's going to outlast him if it gets there. I think Tommy's going to have better cardio if it gets there, put more volume out, more pace on the front foot more. So if it goes to decision, I favor Tommy. If it's a knockout, I favor Tommy just via pressure and relentlessness. Maybe a standing TKO type of thing. Maybe he's just putting so much pressure on him that Alberto just kind of goes to one knee and folds. I think the way Alberto wins this fight is the way he's won, 7 of his 12 fights is by submission. I think it's going to be very tough, man. I think Tommy's very educated in those spots. Tommy has a very devastating front choke of his own, front choke series of his own. So I think he's going to be very educated in those spots. And, we saw the guy Era. Era was shooting takedowns. Era was clinching and cage pushing with no problem, keeping himself safe. And it's very, very simple, man. Like, in my opinion, again, I'm no fucking BJJ practitioner. I'm not going to pretend like I'm a fucking pro. But defending, I know it's tough with a guy this slick. But if you're educated in these positions like Tommy is, it's pretty simple, man. If you're looking to take him down, make sure your body's on the correct side of his body, to limit his ability to choke. If you're standing, Alberto is going to try to lock these front chokes up from whoever. His back could be against the cage. It could be standing, whatever the case is. Tommy's the much taller fighter. Just stay more upright. Keep your head in the right positions. Head placement. Kind of head in his chest, head on his chin. Don't put yourself in vulnerable positions. I don't think Tommy will do that. I think, and Tommy's shown to be relentless, man, and have so much fucking heart. I believe McGoyan had him in some very, very tough spots, some very tough submissions. And McMillan is not a bitch, man. So if I haven't seen anybody escape Alberto's chokes, but Alberto has not fought anybody that's gonna have this type of style and have the type of wrestling, grappling that McMillan does, man. Ricky Tercio, stop it. Stop it, man. Stop it right now. So all of those things together, man, and I like Tommy in this fight. So people are gonna continue to hate on Tommy. I've seen a lot of Alberto love this week, and the line is completely disagreeing with that love. So, that kind of reverse line movement is very, very telling in my opinion. So, I think Tommy kind of wears on him, man. It gets him out of there the later this fight goes. So, I think Alberto makes it a little bit tougher, round one, first 2-3 minutes of round one. I think he's going to be doing a lot of circling, a lot of bouncing on the outside. Maybe Tommy tries to blitz forward and just not fast enough, and Alberto circles out. So yeah, man, let's look at these props. I gotta hurry the fuck up because my son is going to bed. And the room is right next to this room. All right, where we at? Tommy McMillan. All right. So Tommy by KO is 290. Tommy by sub is 310. So the books are saying those things are pretty equally likely to happen. I do lean towards KO, man. Like I think it's more of an attritional, damage-based, pace-based knockout. McMillan round 2 knockout is 10-1. Round 3 knockout is 17-1. That's what I'll play, and just hope that he doesn't sub him. If he does sub him, we still make profit. We hit the money line, which I'm probably gonna play. But yeah, man, I like those numbers: 10-1, 17-1, KO2, KO3 for Tommy McMillan. Tommy McMillan money line, and the hype continues, man. I think he moves to 11-0, keeps that shiny record, and proves a lot of motherfuckers wrong, man. This fight is kind of civil war of the week, I would say. A lot of people on both sides, but I feel like a majority of the people on Montez and a majority of those people are very, very passionate on that side. They think it's a fucking sure thing that Montez finishes Tommy. Tommy's ass. Tommy sucks. We'll see. I think David McGoyan is a lot better than Alberto Montes. So is what it is. Next fight. My man Dylan's in the chat. DDP subbing another Black King in Usman, just like he did to Easy. Wow, that's a bold statement, my brother. That is a bold statement. Kamaru is not easy to finish. Kamaru has been sub before, but I believe that was, bro, I think that was like 2010, bro, or like 2012 or some shit like that. Like, so that is a bold statement. I respect it though. Nuts on the table. I respect it. Appreciate you for watching. Appreciate your prediction. All right, let's move on. So Tabitha Ricci, Fatima Klein. I think it's a good fight. Fatima's a big favorite. I didn't make any graphics or anything because I'm probably not going to have action in this fight. I think Fatima can finish this fight. I think Fatima can easily win a decision in this fight. Fatima's better everywhere. Fatima is special, special talent. That kind of grappling background, extensive grappling background, but you would never know it by watching her fight, man. Her striking has improved so much. Still only 26 years old, 5 inches taller, 6.5 inches of reach. Yeah, man. Tabitha's feisty, Tabitha's scrappy, but this is not a good matchup for her. I'm just not interested in laying the money line. Not interested. I didn't like any props or anything like that, so moving the fuck on. Chase Hooper versus Mitch Ramirez. So another fight that I forgot that the Fade guy was on Mitch. You know, I don't know, man. It's Doger Pass. It's Doger Pass. Chase missed weight too, by a pound and a half, I think. So there's that. Probably not the smoothest weight cut of all time. Let's see the current odds because I think they've changed a little bit. They have, yeah. So money's definitely still coming in on Mitch. Mitch is like plus 280, plus 290 now. So pretty sizable difference in the odds you see on screen. It's definitely dog a pass, man. I'm not laying this number with Chase Hooper again ever. I don't give a fuck if he's fighting a disabled dog. I'm just not fighting. I'm not laying these type of prices with Chase Hooper ever. So until he takes real step up in competition, maybe you get better numbers on him. I don't know. I'm not interested in this price. Um, you know, people want to say, Mitch sucks and this and that and whatever. I don't think Mitch is the most well-rounded guy ever. I don't think his boxing is anything too clean or anything like that. But like, let's not get it twisted, man. Carlos Prates, Thiago Moises, Mike Davis. That's not a cupcake. Say what you want about Thiago at this point in his career, but that is the furthest thing from a cupcake run in the UFC. And then you flip it to Chase Hooper, and it's Lance Gibson Jr., who, say what you want, I don't think is high level. Alexander Hernandez, who is very, very mid. I mean, very inconsistent, I would say. Jim Miller, Clay Guida, Vyacheslav Borishev, Jordan Levitt, and Nick Fiore. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. We're not going to. It's just completely uncomparable the last couple of years for these two guys. Chase coming off getting fucking deaded in back-to-back fights. He's just untrustworthy. So the man cannot strike at all. The man can't take a punch. Baby chin. About his, baby face, baby chin. All of those things. So, yeah, man. Mitch is a dog. Mitch is tough. Mitch is relentless. I don't want to say relentless. Mitch is very tough and very gritty. Very, very gritty. So, Mitch has devastating low kicks. I think that can be a factor in this fight. I think Mitch can do what a lot of other people did, which is touch the chin, even though, like I said, his boxing is not great. Yeah, man, I just don't know if I want to get involved. I don't think this is a matchup where it's like, hey, let's run to fucking fade Chase. Like, I don't think Mitch is at that level. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it's Doger Pass. Mitch posted about Chase missing weight, and Mitch is pissed off. So, I might add a little bit of you know, fire, under his ass. Who knows? But yeah, man, if Chase gets his game going, then yeah, Mitch is fucked. But at this price, I don't want to guess. I'm not guessing. So it's probably a stay off fight for me. I was gonna play Mitch, but one, I'm not getting the plus 350 that was available earlier in the week, and two, the Fade God is on him. So it's most likely Chase Hooper ITD. So moving on. The next fight is co-main event of the evening. Jared Cannonier still doing a damn thing at 42 years old versus CLD Christian Leroy Duncan. Christian, big favorite. What is he now? Minus 375-ish. Comeback on Jared Cannonier is plus 300 to plus 315. I mean, CLD is going to win this fight. I think he's going to win it by finish. Yeah, man. CLD's kind of had a interesting career, to say the least, man. You know, came into the UFC. I feel like he was feeling himself a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? Very kind of fucking pretty striker all over the place. Kind of borderline capoeira kind of bullshit in there. And then you lose to Armin Petrosian, and then it's okay. That's your first kind of G-check a little bit. Then back-to-back KOs, but that's against Ribeiro and Turulian. It is what it is. Then you kind of get another reality check versus Gregory Rodriguez. And ever since that, man, I've been very much impressed. You know, people say what you want about the Pulaya fight. I guess that was the last fight, which he was kind of maybe a little bit more hesitant than I would like. But since then, man, it's been very impressive, man. Eric Anders got him out of there. Marco Tulio, very, very impressive finish. And the Roma Delise fight, again, very, very impressive, man. I know, he didn't finish, and there's going to be a lot of fucking dickhead idiots who are, oh, he didn't finish, so, not super impressive, and he got taken down, and this and that, and I get all of that. But still, won a fight like that versus a perennial top 10 guy in his division. Baby steps, man. It's baby steps. All about baby steps. And Jared Cannonier is not going to pose the same threat as a guy like Roma Delise. So, yeah, man, I've been impressed. Jared Cannonier has been a bit chinny for a long time. Now he's 42. CLD, much better athlete, much faster, much more versatile striker. Like I said, I think he wins, covers his price. Puts hands, knees, elbows on Jared Cannonier and gets him out of there. When? I don't know. What round? I don't know. How? I don't know. How? Yes, KO, obviously. But when? I'm not really that sure of. We'll take a quick peek at fucking round props. I guess why not? That's the thing, man. It can happen in 1. It can happen in 3. So, method of... so... they're pretty shit, man. Like, KO3 is 9-1, KO2 6.5-1, KO1 is 5-1. Like, I wouldn't mind round 2. I think round 2 is that sweet spot, both in the fight and value-wise at plus 650. So I don't mind that. Maybe a little sprinkle on CLD round 2 KO. Hope and pray that Jared survives 5 minutes with... he got baby chin a little bit, but he's tough. Still able to recover. Who knows? At 42 years old, man. Who fucking knows? But, yeah, man. Can't trust a 42-year-old to win a fight. I don't give a fuck against who. If you're losing to Michael Venom Page, very, very similar matchup. Maybe not... Maybe COD is easier to hit than a guy like Michael Venom Page, but much, much younger and much more devastating, on the feet than a guy like MVP. So, yeah, man. I know Jared turned back the clock and knocked out RoboCop and all that good shit, but yeah, COD is a fucking savage. So, COD by finish. Moving on, man. Main event of the evening, and then I'll get you guys out of here, man. Hit that like button. Back-to-back weeks we live, man. That's big for me. It's been months since that's happened. So, back-to-back weeks live for me, trying to give you guys, bring you guys top-notch, in terms of quality content, top-notch information, and top-notch betting information to make you guys more money. So, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, man. Road to 100 subscribers. Very, very grateful for those of you that have subscribed already and show love on the YouTube. And let's keep that momentum, man. Appreciate you guys a ton. With that said, man, main event of the evening, DDP, Dricus du Plessis, former champ, versus another former champ in Kamaru Usman, moving up for the second time to 185 for this main event. Current odds. What's on screen? Yeah, about the same as what's on screen. I haven't got here there. I mean, I teased it earlier in the stream, but I haven't gotten there with my money yet. But only because come fight day, overnight, morning, I wake up. I think we're gonna get a slightly better number on Kamaru. I think all the parlay boys will be out. Oh, DDP. Oh, fuck Kamaru. He's 39. He got no knees. That's all I'm seeing on Twitter right now is all these fucking rage bait, engagement bait. Oh, Kamaru got no knees, and that's the type of shit that go viral because that's the type of shit that the casuals love. So I think there's gonna be a lot of that shit tomorrow. I think we get a better number than plus 200. So I'm gonna wait and hope I don't regret waiting. But I'm gonna wait. I like Kamaru in this matchup, man. A lot of it is a price thing. If it was even money, I don't think I'd be making this bet. But a lot of it is price wise, and I need a price like that because again, there's some red flags. Kamaru's 39 years old. Kamaru is not the fighter he once was, obviously. So, you're fighting a guy in his prime, huge for the division, blah, 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 all of that good shit. So there are some red flags. So this is why I like a number like this to make a bet like this. I just can't unsee, say what you want about Kamaru, man. Kamaru is one of the best wrestlers ever that we've seen in the welterweight division. Ever. You know what I'm saying? And people want to question, oh, but finesse, this is not welterweight. I know it's middleweight. I know. But we've already kind of seen what it's like. Kamaru flying across the world, 5 days notice, up a weight class versus the absolute fucking boogeyman of the division and Hamza Chimaev. And that fight was a fucking banger. That fight was a banger. Kamaru was in trouble very early in that fight, did all the proper things to survive. Who's the more dangerous submission threat? Is it Hamza or is it DDP? Like, we all know the answer to that. So Kamaru was able to, again, on short notice, flying halfway across the world, first time up at middleweight, do these things, survive these positions, have a decent second round, be pushing the pace in the third round. Arguably won the third round against Hamza. You know what I'm saying? Did win the third round on scorecards, but I'm just saying on my cards, and was still pushing the fucking pace. And given Hamza Chimaev, former champion of the world, I know he just got beat, but still boogeyman in the division, a guy that is going to be favored in a rematch versus Sean, a guy that has already dominated DDP on a mat. Kamaru gave that guy all he can handle. Kamaru was 38 at that time. Kamaru was 38 years old at that time. So, say what you want. He's 39 now. I know that's a year older, but people act like he was 30 when that happened. He was. I'm sorry, he was not 38. That's my apologies. This was 3 years. So he was like 36, 37. So again, 3 years older. I'll give you that. But he was no fucking spring chicken when he's doing that. I also like the fact that he's taking a year off. The older you get, the more I think that that's a good thing and not a bad thing. I don't like you being 25, 26, taking a year and a half, 2 years off. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. But a year off for a guy with the body problems and as old as Kamaru is, I like that. So with that being said, everything he's done in his career up until now, still able to dominate, guys like Joaquin Buckley, up-and-comers, athletic freaks in the division, which you'll see another one. Drake is not an athletic freak. He's like a physical freak. Pause. But with that said, man, I just can't unsee, some of these things that I've seen with Drickus, especially at this price. Obviously got dominated for 5 rounds. Looked like a little fucking helpless baby against Hamzat. But that's not anything new. Like, let's not pretend that's anything new. Fights before that, completely different stylistic matchups. Sean is not a guy that shoots. Israel not a guy that shoots. So you can't give any fucking credence to those fights. Robert Whitaker fight. Robert Whitaker's, he's known to be able to kind of mix it up a little bit, but Robert Whitaker was able to shoot a takedown, get a takedown on DDP. Right? That's just whatever. Derek Brunson fight. That is tough scenes for DDP, man. Derek Brunson was fucking DDP up. Like, not winning, he was fucking him up. Won the first round, fucked him up, took him down at will, threw him around like a little fucking baby. And then Derek Brunson gassed out, as he does. Baby chin, as he is known to have. And he gets knocked out in round two. Same thing with Darren Till, man. Darren Till is having a lot of success, man. Like, how many times did Darren Till... Yeah, Darren fucking Till hit a takedown on DDP, man. So, DDP got the better of the wrestling grappling in that fight by far. Let's not get it twisted, but DDP was able to hit a takedown, get a takedown on DDP. Brad Tavares, another, fight that very tough scenes when you're fast forwarding and now you're fighting fucking Kamaru Usman. You know what I'm saying? Like, very, very tough scenes. So, what was the stats in that fight? So, first of all, DDP was not able to hit it. Damn, I could have swore. What the fuck? This was the first fight that I taped this week, so I think that was like Sunday or Monday. I can't remember. Maybe it was like some awkward shit where Brad kind of ended on top or whatever the case is, but I know Brad got some top time in that fight, controlled DDP in that fight, and gave fucking DDP all he could handle in that fight. Brad fucking Tavares. So this is not anything new. If he's not improving what he needed to improve after that Derek Brunson fight, which was 3 years ago, up until, 8 months ago, where we see how fucking helpless he is versus Chimaev, at 32, is he going to be making fucking monumental improvements? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. So, yes, DDP has more power. Yes, DDP, as awkward and fucking goofy as he is, he's the better striker, way more power, swings absolute fucking heavies, a savage, absolute savage. So, can he knock Kamaru out? Yes, we've seen it before, but I mean, people are talking this week like almost everybody that I've heard on DDP this week likes DDP 3, 4, 5 finish, and that just baffles my fucking mind, man. Like, first of all, Kamaru is extremely hard to finish, man. Extremely hard to finish. We were talking about this earlier with my guy Dylan. So that fight he got subbed was 2013, man. 13 fucking years ago. Happened in round one. Rear naked choke. 13 fucking years ago. The only other time Kamaru's been finished was the notorious Leon Edwards head kick, which is about as fluky as it fucking gets, dominating the whole fight and gets one hitter quittered by a head kick, about as meme as it gets. We've seen him dropped, like Gilbert Burns dropped him, and I think Jorge buzzed him on the feet and this and that, but Kamaru is an extremely, extremely hard guy to finish. So that's the first thing about that 3, 4, 5 shit. And then 3, 4, 5 implies that Kamaru's going to slow down. Like, Kamaru's not going to fucking slow down. Like, we've never seen that, ever. We've seen DDP slow down. I think DDP has corrected what he needs to correct. He was the one in round 5 after getting dominated. He's the one in round 5 still with, fresh enough to do what he did in round 5 of that fight. So I just don't think cardio necessarily is going to play any type of factor in this fight, let alone Kamaru slowing down and Jerk is finishing him at 3, 4, 5. I think that's ridiculous. So, yeah, man, it's that simple, man. Plus 200 on a guy with the wrestling edge, a guy that time after time after time has given up takedowns, has given up top time and control to way worse wrestlers than Kamaru. So, yeah, man, I think Kamaru got 1 or 2 left in the chamber, man. Kamaru has made it known what he wants, which is another title run. And what better way to kind of leapfrog and put yourself in that number 1 contender category than, beating pretty decisively, former champ, a recent former champ, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, a couple of dog shots this card, and this is what it is, man. Kamaru Usman, money line. Again, I haven't played it right now. I haven't played it yet, but right now it's plus 200. I haven't settled on a method of victory. I think, Kamaru's not a big sub guy. He's more position over submission. So I think it's Kamaru by decision. Even things like Kamaru Kamaru plus 5.5. You know, again, like how much equity do you give DDP in terms of finishing? I don't know. You know, but Kamaru Usman plus 5.5 is even money. You know what I'm saying? Like that's ridiculous in my opinion. You know, you're asking him to win. Uh, um, but it's tough because 5 round scorecards could be all over the place, so it's not as easy as win 2 rounds. But scorecards all over the place. It could be a split. He could win 1 round on one card, 2 rounds on another card. There's so many ways to cash a plus 5.5. Obviously, you can't get finished, but there's so many ways to cash a plus 5.5. You know, and just looking on DraftKings again, I don't take this with a grain of salt, but bets placed DDP 70% of the bets. Yet the line is pushing towards Kamaru. You know what I'm saying? So what's the topology? Um, so main event. 82% of Tapology voters are on DDP. 82%. Yet the line is moving the other way. So I think Tapology is a much more, I don't think it's perfect, but I think a much more accurate reflection of kind of where people are at. So 82% of them are the fucking Tapology picks. Over half of those are by KO on Tapology. Yet the line is moving the other way, man. I like it. I like it. I like that facet of the cap. And yeah, man, Nigerian Nightmare, man. I got one more in me. You know, like Vince Carter, man. I got one more in me. I think my man got it. I think the old man, the Unk, moving up to middleweight. I think he got one more in him. So, um, don't get me wrong. I don't think he beats Sean. I don't think he beats Hamza at all. I mean, we saw that fight already, but I don't think he beats either of those guys. But DDP is a guy I think he can be, especially at this crazy number, man. Plus 200 is fucking crazy. So. Yeah, man, that does it. That does it. 12 fight card. UFC Oklahoma City goes down tomorrow evening. Starts at 5 p.m. So be prepared, man. For those of you that watch this live, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know a bunch of you guys are gonna watch this on replay. So yeah, good luck on your action. I appreciate you for tuning in. Hit that like button, man. Comment favorite bets, favorite fights that you're just looking forward to as a fan, favorite props, lottos, anything, man. I'd love to chop it up with you guys. But yeah, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Road to 100 subscribers, man. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks we can get there. And yeah, man, keep stacking up the days brick by brick, and keep that momentum going, man. So Friday night, man. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. Good luck tomorrow.